In the forest, where shadows breathe and stars hang like lanterns, a story waits for you. Gather close, dear ones. Lean in as the night deepens. Tonight, I have a story for you. A tale that drifts between shadow and starlight, where the veil is thin and magic moves like silver mist curling low through the trees. Once, long ago, but also not so long ago at all, there was a forest so ancient, its roots seemed to cradle the very bones of the earth. The trees were titans, their bark furrowed with age, their crowns heavy with autumn leaves that glowed like embers against the dusk. Moss spread thick as velvet across stone, and the streams that wound beneath them caught the moonlight like liquid glass. Hidden in this forest was a woman who spoke with ravens. She had no name that anyone knew. Some whispered witch, some murmured healer, and some, out of fear, did not speak of her at all. Her cottage crouched among the trees, its crooked beams leaning like tired shoulders. The roof was a patchwork of moss and wildflowers, as though the forest itself had claimed it as kin. At night, its windows glowed with honey gold candlelight. Travelers said when they passed, they saw shadows flicker inside, not one, but many, as if unseen companions gathered, dancing in the glow. One crisp autumn evening, when the air smelled of wood smoke and fallen leaves, a weary wanderer found himself at her door. His boots were split, his cloak ragged, his shoulders sagged as though each step pressed him deeper into the earth. His heart was heavier still, carried like a stone in his chest. He raised a trembling hand and knocked. The door groaned open on its own. Inside, the cottage glowed. A fire crackled in the hearth, its light spilling over shelves of jars, feathers, herbs, and bones. The woman sat near the flames, stirring a blackened cauldron, fragrant steam curling upward, sage and sweet apples. She did not look up, but her voice rippled softly through the room.
I have no bread for the greedy, no gold for the grasping, but for the lost, for the burdened, there is always a place at my fire.
The wanderer stepped in, drawn to the warmth. His words spilled like dried leaves shaken from a branch. He spoke of dreams left behind, of mistakes clinging like cobwebs, of the fear his life had slipped away unused. His voice trembled, brittle as twigs in the wind. The woman listened. At first, she said nothing. Then she reached for a jar upon her shelf. Inside lay a single seed, dark, smooth, glimmering faintly, as though it had caught a shard of midnight. She pressed it into his palm.
Plant this, but not in the ground. Plant it in your heart. Water it with truth. Feed it with courage. And do not demand it to grow too quickly.
That night, by the fire's glow, the wanderer dreamed. In the dream, the forest shimmered. Every tree hung with lanterns made of stars, swaying like guides in the dark. And as he walked, something stirred within him. From the center of his chest, a sapling pushed upward, not with pain, but with wonder. Silver leaves unfolded, each one bearing a memory, heavy, radiant, his own. Branches of becoming. When dawn came, the hearth was cold. The woman, the cottage, gone as though they had never been. He stood alone in a dew-bright clearing. He stood alone in a dew-bright clearing, the sun spilling golden across his face. But in his palm, he still held the seed. And so he journeyed on, his pack lighter, his steps surer, for he understood the truth. The seed was never hers to give. It had always been his, waiting to be tended. And that, dear ones, is the lesson I leave with you tonight. Every burden we carry can become the soil for our growth. We are never too lost, too late, or too broken to begin again. Magic does not live only in charms or shadows. It breathes in the courage to plant something new within yourself and trust it will rise. May you remember this the next time the night feels too long. Blessed be.